in South Africa, it's Women's Month, and for the second year running, S Magazine is honoring influential women within different sectors of our society, and they're giving them beautiful covers. So to talk about that campaign, I've invited the editor of the magazine, Emmanuel TJIYA, to come and tell us about what goes into making these decisions about these campaigns, what goes into shooting these campaigns, and what is it like to be an editor in South Africa right now when the landscape has changed so much. Emmanuel.
How are you doing?
Kishab, 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 Kishab. So thank you so much for taking time. You are a busy man for taking time to come and talk to us here. Yeah. So I think let's start from the very beginning. Like, what does it take to become an editor, a magazine editor in South Africa, or
I
maybe
love
globally?
I love how you mispronounce my name, first of all. All the non-African people, let's
Yes.
go Tia.
Yeah.
It's Chia,
It's Chia.
as in the locust.
Oh,
I know it's
okay.
pronounced funky,
Yeah.
but it's Chia.
It's Chia. So
Yeah.
that's Spady.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Well, now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being an editor, what does it? How do you become an editor, a magazine editor?
I don't know how you become a magazine editor,
Yeah.
but I became one. I have been working in this industry, in entertainment,
Yeah.
for almost 10 years. I started as an online content producer at Sowetan Live. I advanced to Sowetan the newspaper as an entertainment reporter. Through that, I was part of some quote-unquote groundbreaking collaboration, one with Netflix during the pandemic. And then from then, I was promoted to be the editor-in-chief of Sowetan SMag, which is a quarterly magazine
Yeah.
that comes out 5 times a year. So this year, we have had our beauty issue, which we opened with. We had Connie Ferguson on the cover with her daughter, Lisedi, and then we had Azania with Shamiso.
Yeah.
And then we had our youth issue, which was our last issue. We had Amapiano Sensation, Tyler, and international models, Dinitrik and Lebo Malope. And this is our Woman of the Year issue coming out on during a Women's Month. And it focuses, it's our second annual one. It focuses on just celebrating different women across different fields. The state of womanhood in South Africa, it's not always rosy. We do know that living in South Africa, there are a lot of things that women go through, from GBV to so many things. I mean, the gender gap in the workplace. But the focus of this is really to shine the spotlight on different women, from health to entertainment to sports, to say there are wonderful women who are doing amazing things. And it's not always rosy. So there are stories even in the magazine. It's not just about celebrating them. They are telling you about how they got where they are. I mean, we have Tobe Kalwani, who is in communication. And what's fascinating about her is that we were in Lagos together. And I've always known her, obviously, from working for big brands such as Nedbank. So when I was speaking to her, she told me a fascinating thing about her story. And she told me that obviously she's turning 50 later this year. She grew up in the Eastern Cape, and she went to Transcribe. She started something completely differently, right? And then she moved to Joburg in the mid-90s to look for a job, as we always do. But there were no job opportunities, and she ended up working in a call center, right?
Yeah.
And through working in that call center, it was at Discovery. She had this interest in advertising and communication. And she would go to the MD and say, I want to work in the communication department. But she didn't have a qualification because she had studied something completely different. And for me, that shows just how determined she was. Just shows, even though she was in a different field, she would actually took a step to go ask, to ask questions. How do I get into the space? Fast forward, she studied to obtain a qualification in communication at AAA, and she was hired. And from then, she has never looked back. And that just shows you that sometimes your journey might be set up a different way, but you have to take control of it and take charge of your life and ask questions and persevere. And look where she is now. She's on the cover of Sowetan SMag.
Yeah. So I want us to take a step back before we delve too much into the campaign, right? Because I want people to understand the identity of the mag, to understand what the mag stands for, and to understand what the mag is. Because I'm sure there's certain people who don't even know that SMag is actually a Sowetan, magazine and all of that. So let's just establish that groundwork first. What is what was the ethos and the identity of SMag?
Yeah. So obviously we know Sowetan has been active in the last 42 years.
Yeah.
In South Africa. So in 2016, they founded a magazine that focuses completely on lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
On what's happening in lifestyle, from food to celebrity to anything lifestyle, really. And over the years, the magazine has really grown so much. I took over as editor almost 2 years ago in October, right? The DNA of the magazine is to really shine light on Black excellence, on melanin magic, to say, as Black people, we are doing incredible work in these spaces. So it's always celebratory in its nature.
Yeah.
It has different themes, but the newspaper will focus on breaking news, politics, Banyana just winning their great match today. Then the magazine will take it further to say, who is the coach of Banyana? Have lengthy interviews, have portfolios, find out what these people do outside of their work, what makes them tick. So that is the DNA of the magazine, is to celebrate Black people.
Right. And is it available as a standalone magazine, or does it, when the issue comes, then it becomes a supplement of the paper?
Yeah. It is a supplement. So what happens is that there are magazines that are available on the newsstand, right?
Yes.
And obviously, the magazine industry has shifted so much, both locally and globally.
Yeah.
You look at something like the New York Times T style, right?
Yeah.
Which is what the magazine is really modeled after. There is a rise in magazine that come as what we call insets in the magazine industry. So SMag is one of those. So it comes with the Sowetan. So you don't buy the actual magazine. You buy the newspaper on the day, and then when you page through it, you find the magazine inside for free. You don't have to buy it. Obviously, I work for a publication, for a house called Arena.
Yeah.
So it also prints a Sunday Times and Business Day, right? So those publications also have their own magazines, right?
Yeah.
So SMag comes with the Sowetan, which is the most commercial of them all. Focuses on celebrities. There's also a celebrity on the cover.
Right.
Business Day has Wanted, which is focuses on luxury. A lot of people in the luxury world love it. And then you've got the Sunday Times, which comes with what is called the edit. The edit is more like SMag is also quarterly, whereas Wanted is monthly.
Oh, okay.
So the edit then is more avant-garde. It's more like your Vogue Paris. It's models. It's great.
No, but look. I mean, I've seen the covers that you've done for SMag. They're high gloss too. So
no, they are glossy. The paper is glossy.
You get the high gloss. They're very artistic. They're very avant-garde. And, I mean, look at Nomsamo's cover right now. I mean, that's for me, it's very Vogue-ish, and
that's the thing, though. I think a lot of people, because I know magazines, I don't think you have to know the top 4 Vogues in the world.
Okay.
It's American Vogue, it's British Vogue, it's French Vogue, and Italian Vogue. They actually service different markets. If you look at American Vogue, it's the most commercial. They always have celebrities on the cover, or influencers or whatever, right? Which is more like SMag, for example. You look at Edward with British Vogue, right? British Vogue is known for its journalism, actually. They do a lot of lengthy articles. Even when you buy it, you still get that fashion, but its focus is on storytelling, right? And then you get French Vogue, which is very French. It's very avant-garde. It's very fashiony. It's very fashion girls, very natural hair, that kind of vibe. And then you get Italian Vogue, which is very artistic. So magazines have a different target audience. You might look at them and consume an image differently. But if you actually look at the DNA of different magazines, they service different markets.
So you told a beautiful story of how Tobeka ended up on the cover, right? I want to talk about what influences the decision to select certain people to be part of whatever theme that you guys decide for whatever for that issue.
Yeah.
Like what are the things that you are much like number one? This person has to take care.
Yeah.
This person has to take care.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like that. What's the word? I don't think is you have to have had this degree or whatever,
Yeah.
We look at women, we look at the state of womanhood, right? For example, you've got Nomza Mombata,
Yeah.
right? Nomza Mombata is celebrating 10 years in this entertainment industry as an actor, right?
Yeah.
She started on Isibaya as an actor, right? Being in front of
the camera.
And then she evolved to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then now she's evolving to be an executive producer.
Yeah.
So we are looking at her story of her being a leading lady, how she has advanced from being in front of the camera to behind the camera, and how she can inspire people in the same industry as her.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this great quote she gives to me, and she doesn't shy away, by the way, from her cover story, right?
Yeah.
She speaks about the polarizing views that Shaka Ilembe has received.
Yeah.
She speaks about having to audition in Hollywood, and she speaks about there's this interesting quote I think every young actor needs to read in the issue where she speaks about after she did the Coming to America sequel.
Yeah.
She had this great time in Hollywood where she was on every
guest list.
Doing the amazing promo work. And she said it was great. And then she says, afterwards, it just dies down and you go back to auditioning.
Yeah.
And she says, that's the nature of the industry. You have to do that. And she doesn't shy away from saying, because maybe you might look at her and say, other producers are calling her in Hollywood.
Yeah. She's made it. Yeah.
And she was honest about it. And she said, that's the mindset we need to have here at home.
Yeah.
Don't feel quote unquote entitled.
Yeah, I don't think that one role it's a career made now. You don't have to kind of like still put in the work. I love that.
And be disciplined. I mean, take your job very serious. Be disciplined about it. And you look at someone like Tobeko. Obviously, her story is completely different. From we are looking at how she studied something different and she ended up in
it's more human interest story.
Yeah, more human interest story. You look at someone who is my favorite in this particular issue.
Yeah.
Professor Tracy Naledi, who is at UCT, and how she has trailblazed in the health sector. You look at Bonahalo Mujapelo, who speaks about how she has taken over the fashion industry, being a muse for Tebe Magugu. But she has done that through being unapologetic about how she looks, her identity, and her presence, and just saying, this is me, and I'm going to celebrate that. So it's different women. You don't just look at them and say, you have achieved A, B, C. They are flawed. They have stories of fail. They failed. But what I love about them is that they kept going. They showed up. Because that's the first rule for me in every sector. You have to show up.
Yeah. Do you think that our South African audiences are still interested in celebrating people's journeys in that way? Because I look at the landscape right now and everything is just so fast. You look at there are so many podcasts and the interview, there are too many. Yeah, and the interviews are about gotcha moment. You know what I mean? We don't have remember back in the day where you could have a celebrity sit down with somebody and tell you a story about their career. By the time you finish that, you open a magazine and you read a story about somebody's life. And do you still think that's relevant in our culture?
Absolutely. I think it's evolution. It's evolution of storytelling. I think as the creators, we have to look at our audience and not be lazy and not be entitled again to say, why are you not reading? Why are you not sitting there? Clearly we're boring them. So how do we innovate? That's the exciting thing about what we do. How do you give it to them in a very fresh way? So for example, again, back to SMag, we realized that there was a decline in the magazine being on the newsstand because it's costly. And by the time the magazine comes out, so many things have happened on social media. Right? So we looked at how can we best capture this audience. I mean, our online presence is crazy. We do digital covers. We do eventing. You know, there are so many ways to tell stories. It's just not sitting down like this.
Yeah.
And people don't have time. People don't have data.
Yeah.
People are busy with their own lives. But what I have always believed as a creator is that you cannot try to be everything to everyone. Otherwise, you end up being nobody.
Yo.
So just pick your audience and stick to
Repeat
it.
that line. That's a quote. Editor, remember that. Put it on screen. So repeat that. You cannot be everything
To everyone. Otherwise, you just end up being a nobody.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Rayetsa ke re karang. Bo tlo quote mo nthoile, right? Right. Good. Ima. So SMag future looking forward beyond this campaign, what whoever who has never read the magazine or has seen the magazine and not had the interest to actually open it, you know, and now they're interested, now you've hooked them.
Yeah.
You know, future wise, why should they stay with the magazine and why should they look forward to more campaigns and more covers?
I think for me as an editor, my approach has been, I think people are obsessed with images, right? They are obsessed. There's this obsession with prettiness. Everything has to be pretty and has to be perfect. The hair has to be perfect. The cover stars have to be famous, super famous. I have opted to choose people who might not be put on magazine covers.
Yeah.
I want people to see an image and it evokes something in them. I want you to see it, whether you hate it or you love it. I want you to hate it, actually. I want you to say something.
Yes.
I want to start a conversation about hair. I want to start a conversation about skin. I want to start a conversation about celebrity. I want to start a conversation about womanhood. I will not always get it right.
Yeah.
But I will try. But also tell me, you know, let's have a conversation. Let's speak. That's what storytelling is about.
Yeah.
I think people are obsessed with, again, perfection.
Yeah.
Life is not perfect. And with the future, we are doing our heritage issue. We're in the middle of production. You guys are not going to believe who's on the cover. But not because they don't deserve to be on the cover.
Yeah.
It's just because it's such an interesting story. So I will give you a little taste of it.
Yeah.
Well, we're having shots, so let's hope they show up.
Yeah. Maybe we're talking about
Because they are not in South Africa at the moment.
Oh,
One of
okay,
the
cool.
cover stars.
Yeah.
But it's a story about the history, because it's the heritage issue coming out in September, just before Heritage Day. It's looking at the history of South African music, right?
Yeah.
And celebrating who we are.
Yes.
Through music, food, culture, and everything.
Yeah.
So we have the evolution of the female musician in Africa.
Okay.
So it's two people, hopefully. So it starts from where we were.
Yeah.
And then we look at where we are now and the future through these two faces.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and then on the male cover, we also have the male cover I can't tell you about.
Yeah.
You know who it is.
Okay, cool. No. Look, it's fine. Okay, let's just do something fun before I let you go because you have to go, you know, and work. Who excites you right now as an editor in the entertainment space? Who excites you right now in the game? They don't have to be an actor, whatever, or there could be somebody in print, somebody in whatever, but in the space, in the entertainment industry right now, who excites you?
Tebe Magugu excites me so much.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by his mind.
Yeah.
And how he has been able to take his story and make it so universal, but yet keep it so African.
Yeah.
He is, oh my God, I want to live in his mind. I just think he's just such a brilliant person. I think also there's an interesting era for fashion.
Yeah.
Rich Mnisi is another one who fascinates me. Two different designers, but actually just taking fashion into the next stage. Because I think for the longest time, African fashion has always been looked at as African print.
Yeah.
And they are advancing more than that. They are saying African luxury is much more than the African print, the tribal print. So those two really excite me. Tyler, who was on my last cover, really is exciting to me also.
Yeah.
Amapiano is exciting to me. Bayana are interesting to me.
Yeah.
I just love South African.
Yeah.
You are interesting to me.
Oh, thank you very much. Look, but you know what I love? I love seeing somebody who is excited and who finds passion. And, you know, you and I have traveled together, have had conversation together in spaces. And one thing that I love about you is that we don't always agree about everything, but we get into this spirited conversation about our industry. And I feel like, we miss that. We don't have that, you know?
drive me crazy.
I know.
Dragging and gaslighting and be like, really?
You know what? And that's actually one of the things that I miss about Lumko. Like, Lumko was one of those people that something would happen in the industry, or I would observe something or notice something, and I would call him and say, yo, babe, this happened. And when we'll challenge each other, I'd be excited about a show or a person, and they'd be like, who?
But you know what I find fascinating about storytellers like yourself and the late Lungo is your bravery to actually go public and just speak openly about what you think of the world. Because I cannot do that. I am very guarded, right? And I think that's the bravery of artistry. You expressing who you are and people not receiving it, but falling and then getting up and doing it over and over again.
But don't you think our industry, our South African industry, and I feel like that's one of the negative of our industry, don't you feel like in a way demands that? Because the more honest and open and whatever, the more people feel, yo, we can't work with this person because, you know, with certain doors. I know that people in the industry who have views that could actually advance our industry, who cannot express those views because they are thinking, yo, if I do that, then nobody's going to hire me. My acting career, it's over. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like in a way, the industry demands that of us, demands that bravery in a way, you know what I mean? But thank you very much.
Can I respond to that before you?
Okay, cool.
I think it's not a local thing. I think I've had the honor of being in great rooms that focus in Hollywood. And it's more brutal. I think don't be entitled, first of all, right? How people will receive you. You have to fall, you have to get up, but always show up. That's rule number one, right? There will always be negativity. There will always be things that pull us down, but let's not look at African storytelling as local. We are universal. And the best way, and what I'm looking forward to, and I've said this in a previous interview, is us as local storytellers doing things that are universal, not for cool points, but for economic freedom. And when we absolutely arrive there, then we can discuss things like, Smart Man, he said this, and we can be petty about it. But let's just continue as an industry because the timing is perfect for local storytelling. People internationally are looking at us and they're giving us opportunities that were not afforded to our ancestors. And let's utilize that. Look at Tusombe, look at Nomzamo, look at Tebe Magugu. It's absolutely possible.
You know what? This interview is not going to end because you keep on dropping these nuggets that I have to. Because here's the thing that you just mentioned right there. I don't know if you are aware of it. You talk about economic freedom, and that is such an important point that I feel like in our industry sometimes we are afraid to speak about it. That it's okay for your art to make you money. You get what I'm saying? The novelty. No, because sometimes we get too caught up in trying to, you know, appease and answer to the novelty of, I'm celebrating this, I'm representing this, I'm opening to when in reality, your art, if it does not feed you, then it's a hobby.
I can take the negativity. I can take the positivity. I can take, because working with celebrities is a lot of work also, you know it. But the check has to look good.
Exactly. It's okay to make money. It's okay to aspire to make money.
Economic freedom is very important. But obviously, since the beginning of time, speaking about money has always been very taboo. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you know that you have worked to be here, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to ask for your worth. You know what I'm saying? But also you have to work to get to your worth. I think young people are, I don't want to use the word lazy. I think they sometimes operate from a place of ignorance and not knowing what an industry is. So you have to work to actually earn certain bars. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? People will say no to you. People will say yes
all
to
the time.
But like I said, the bravery of being an artist is taking those no's,
Mm.
taking the criticism,
Yeah.
getting up, doing it all over again, learning from your mistakes, because everyone, I will make mistake, you will make mistake, not
Yeah.
because you are you,
Yeah.
just because, can I say a bad word?
No, yes.
Love
This is
is
YouTube.
fucked
Love is fucked up.
Yeah. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Yes, thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate this. I've known that you are a nugget. Like you are just in J, a basket in J full of nuggets of knowledge and all of that. You know, and I'm glad that I've had to share that with South African people. Will get to see this. We should do this again where we talk simply about the influencer culture in this, because I think that what you just said right now just gave me that, yo, it would be so great to have a conversation about influencer culture, you know, juxtapose that to celebrity culture, you know. We should do that. We should do that very soon. Thank you so much.
I am willing to do it. Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. Congratulations on this.
Thank you so
Godspeed.
much. Sure. Yes.